something different for you today, a more informative, regular travel vlogger video. Of course, it's still got me-isms in it. We've still got some humor, but this is very informative. I'm going to break down figures. I'm going to tell you how you can live outside of UK for £600 a month, realistically, like really realistically. This isn't clickbait. This is the real deal. I'm gonna break down all the figures, all the costs, all the contingency plans. I'm gonna give you 3 different budgets for 3 different lifestyles. This is gonna be a very informative video. Off we go. Are you done with living in tyranny? Are you done with living around depressed, numbed out zombies? Would you like to live looking at a massive statue of a Buddha, surrounded by a jungle and the incredible noises of nature, and a lovely little community of people who are all very interesting because they're living in the Vietnamese jungle? What if I told you you could live here, or maybe a slightly smaller cabin? I think this one might be slightly more, but when I tell you the prices, it's not going to matter. So it's basic as hell. Right, the prices. £86 a month. $113 a month. You can add £30 onto that if you're a couple. Of course, it's very basic. But if you emailed him and you committed to 3 months or more and paid the money up front, which is very easy, and said, I want a sofa, I'm sure he'd get you one. I want a desk, I'm sure he'd get you one. Now, you don't actually need a desk because I'll show you soon. There's lots of areas for that, but you know, it does need a sofa in my opinion. £86 a month. All bills included. How much are you spending on your electricity bill? How much? I mean, I bet your water bill is more than £86 a month. Now, this isn't for everyone. I'm not saying it's easy. Being an expat, living abroad, absolutely comes with its challenges. You can live, rent and bills, £86 a month. I'm now going to go and show you how much the food is, how much gym membership is, and we're going to work out how much you need to live in Nam Ban, which is very close to Dalat. Dalat is a big city, or a relatively big city in Vietnam where I lived for a long time. I wish I'd lived here for longer. I only did 5 days. It's been the best place. I've lived in Vietnam for 6 months now. This is the best place I've been. For me, of course. It's not going to suit everyone. Some people need the flashing lights of the city and the concrete jungle and the hedonism. That's fine. But if you appreciate this and you want to live rent and bills, £86 a month, and you want to be able to buy, I can't even find the words to say, I mean, gorgeous flowers for £1.50 a bunch, and you want to be able to eat the best food in the world, or up there along with the best food in the world, for fan, £1.50 a time, which I'm about to go and show you. Then Nam Ban, Vietnam. And this place in particular is where you want to be. Not only that, right, so this is the first place in Vietnam where I've experienced silence, other than the sounds of nature, of course. But you know, if this is for you, then you will love the sounds of nature. You will feel the high vibrations of the cassadars and the grasshoppers, and there's butterflies everywhere, dragonflies everywhere. It's just fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. And that Buddha, that's an energetic portal over there, man. That crazy stuff happened to me over there. Not crazy stuff, beautiful, aligned, heart-opening things happened to me over there. So yeah, let's go and check out the village and the prices, and let's work out how much you would need to live here for a month. A closer look at the bathroom for you. It's got all your essentials, obviously the main one being the incredible bum gun of Asia. Bye-bye toilet roll, shower. Obviously it's basic, the water drips through the floor, I love it. Everything you need. The cabin, I think, is the biggest, but it's definitely the quietest. It's down in the bottom corner. I think you'd be looking at £100 a month for that one. This, I'll show you in a minute. This is your kitchen area, washing machine, fridge, freezer. Water is provided for the price. Internet is provided for the price. I live stream 4 hours a day, and I upload 3 or 4 videos a day. Right, so if you just watch videos, if you're not a content creator and you're just you just need the, if you're just a content receiver, you'll have no problems with the internet. Uploading is slow here, but it's doable. Live streaming, I have to do hours, you know, because the internet's shared. So if I do it at 7 p.m, it's not going to work. But if I do it at 1 in the afternoon, it could work. I actually do it at 3 in the morning. So yeah, this is your kitchen area. This lovely communal area. What's really nice is you have your own space, you have your own peace. The type of people who come here, in my experience, I've been very lucky, but I think it will be the way it is. You know, there's a Russian in here, there's an Argentinian and a Colombian in here. Amazing people. We have great chats around the table, but you've got your own space as well. Yeah, so the type of people who come here, they're not going to be playing drum and bass. And I don't think you're going to get many Vietnamese people stay here because this isn't that special to them. You know, it's normal. They're more like seeking the luxury of the city that they haven't experienced for you know, more than one generation or two. All right, let's go and have a look at the restaurant and the town, and then let's discuss, you know, do you need a bike? How much is that going to cost? I'm going to try my best to do the best travel vlog video I've ever done, or, you know, travel reality video, whatever it is, and really give you an option and give you, yeah, some inspiration potentially to escape the hellhole that is the West. There's, I'm not sure they're rural, but there's dogs everywhere. A little bit scary. They chase you on the scooter. They're territorial. But all you do, it's a game for them. You just slow down and stare at them and they stop. But if you get scared and go fast, they will chase you. But I don't think they bite you. So this is why you don't really need a desk. Yeah, there's 3 of these. If I was to live here long term, I would absolutely insist. I'd insist on a sofa and a desk and a chair. This is the cafe. I've never seen it close at this time before, but it is closed every evening, so no noise. And then the family live here. Hopefully I'll get to introduce you, sorry I'm out of breath after that hill, to the happiest woman in Vietnam. She dances when you book in, she's amazing. She greeted me like this. Yeah. Honestly, she's amazing. You can walk all around here. It is pretty hot. I'll tell you about Nam Bam's temperature when we're in the town. The other end of the scale, houses like this are available for £250 to £300, $350. I don't like them. I'm going to show you a beautiful one for $400 in a minute. But what I'm saying to you is all the options are there. You can live in luxury in Nam Ban very cheaply. But you know, the cabin is super cheap. You know, I'm giving an option to people. The aim of this video is to give an option and an inspiration to people who don't think they can afford to live out of Tivoli. The immediate town, you turn right down there to get to the cabin. You can rent a bike right next to the cabin. Yeah, they are quite interesting actually. They're what do you call them? I don't know. I think they're fake ones. Right, I would really recommend spending £50 on a bike a month to get a good one. I'm going to talk about that more when we get into the next village, which is a lot more Vietnam. By which I mean alive. You have got a relatively big shop here. You could live without a bike. But anyway, I'm going to talk about that more when it's more interesting. Here is the fruit stores I use, a 3-minute drive from the cabin. Coconuts 50 pence, not even that, 30 pence. I got a kilo of lychees for 50 pence. Cheap as hell, you know, two mangoes, 50, 60 pence, just fantastic. Bunch of South Vietnamese flowers, the yellow ones are the famous South Vietnamese flowers, 50 pence. Even in the remotest of remote villages, which this is not, but even in those, you will always find pharmacies. They absolutely love pharmaceuticals out here. You'll never need to worry about that, and you can pretty much get anything over the counter that, you know, you would need to go and explain yourself to some twit in a white coat boy in the West. Once you have your £50 a month scooter, you can fill up the tank for £3, and depending on how often, you can drive to the Lat and back for £3, which is an hour-long drive, I think about 30 kilometres. If you're just pooting around this village, the petrol is going to cost you £3 a week. 5-minute drive from my cabin will bring you to a large hospital facility. So yeah, you have all the medical care you will need 5 minutes away. Now, of course, you're going to receive better care in Ho Chi Minh, the main big hub in the south. You know, if it's really serious stuff, they're probably going to get you there. But you know, you have medical professionals on your doorstep. Another 2 minutes down the road, and this is one of 2 dentists that I've seen, and I haven't been looking out for them, so there's probably more. Of course, there's also plenty of spa shops. Honestly, there really is everything you need. You know, you've got a garage there. I've not wanted for anything while I've been in this town. And of course, if there is something you really need, for example, I've wanted a dead skin remover off my foot. There's the equivalent to Amazon, which is called Lazadar. It's a piece of shit. It's a nightmare. But you know, it does work, especially if you've got a long-term fixed address. And here's the postal service. If you want something sent in from England, here's the postal service. If you live in fear and you need an external saviour, then you can pray to your fake god here. You know, if you believe that you can grape, pillage, and live a disharmonious life, do no internal introspection, not grow as a human being, but give yourself to the Lord and everything will be okay, then that's absolutely pathetic. But you can be pathetic here, because the French colonised Vietnam, so there's loads of churches everywhere. No shortage of barbershops. These are everywhere in Vietnam, you know, just plastered everywhere. £1.50 for a haircut. Of course, if plush, westernised restaurants is your thing, then a Vietnamese village is not for you. However, even Nam Bam does have some. I mean, this is basically the only one. All the other restaurants are like proper Vietnamese, and that's great, but it does take a little while to get your head around. It's taken me 6 months, to be honest, to get my head around Vietnamese food. But you know, there is this luxury place, but honestly, if this is what you seek, Da Lat, Ho Chi Minh, Hanoi, they're the places for you, or Thailand. This is a national Vietnamese train. You'll see this everywhere. Electronic shop. You can get all the electronics you need in the village. Right, we're in the main village. This is a 10-minute drive from the cabin. I was going to speak into, you know, whether or not you need a scooter, but you know, honestly, if you're like when I first moved to Southeast Asia, first rode a scooter, I was in Thailand, I was in Chiang Mai, and I was petrified. Of course, you're going to be scared about learning a scooter, but the roads in Chiang Mai, you know, heaving. This is the perfect place to learn to ride a scooter. If you're going to move to Southeast Asia, you have to learn how to ride a scooter. So it's just not an option. Right, here's your bed shop. Right, what are the downsides? It's bloody hot. It's bloody hot. Nam Bam is 800 meters altitude, so it's not too bad. And look at me. And obviously I need sun protection because I'm not stupid enough to use carcinogenic chemicals and call it sunscreen. You can get all the meats you want. Now, other downsides, a lot of pesticides are used out here. You know, the foods have a lot of pesticides in it. So Nam Bam is nowhere near as hot as Chiang Mai or, you know, all the famous spots in Southeast Asia. The 800, right, this is another problem. Remember that beeping. The 800 meter elevation really does make a difference. If you want to be in European summer climates, then go to Da Lat, which is an hour away. That's 1500. I was trying to get him to do the horn because there are some negatives in Vietnam. Overall, in my experience, it's massively positive. The main negative is the noise. They love karaoke. They have no awareness around noise and European standards of noise, i.e. shut the hell up. They leave their front doors open. They're so friendly, they're so friendly. We love Vietnam. Nam Bat, Nam Bat, Nam Bat. Their language is very harsh on the ear and they shout. But you know, if you're living in a cabin in the jungle, it's no problem. But they are the friendliest, most wonderful people you'll come across, particularly in the villages. So noise is an issue. The culture clash is huge. Everything's opposite. The driving is opposite. It's crazy. But you know, this is the perfect place to learn to drive. Really, the heat and the noise, and obviously there's a huge positive to the heat as well. But you know, it will hit you hard if you're coming from Europe, which is why you should start in Da Lat maybe, and then acclimatise yourself. But really, the heat and the noise are the only two major negatives. Driving takes a while to get your head around, but actually it works much better out here. It flows. It's not all like health and safety and restriction like we have it. So it's not as safe out here, but you know, it's alive. It's less restricted. Right, these things are a big problem at first, maybe forever. Actually, they're just amazing. They're such amazing people. Like the trucks make ridiculously loud noise. And basically the way it works is if you're on a scooter, which you're most likely to be, it's on you to get out of their way. So when they're approaching from behind or towards you, they will beep and expect you to get out of the way. I'm not saying they're not going to stop if you don't, but you know, it's going to be touch and go. And the beep is so loud, it will go right through you. So, you know, there are, you know, there's some stuff that you're going to be like, what the hell? But you get used to it. And it's so, so worth it. Tom, it's a communist country. Is it? On paper, maybe. I mean, everyone's running a business. And they keep their own profits for sure. So the communist side will not affect you. Tom, it's corrupt. Oh, you're living in a corrupt country. Well, maybe a little, but it's on a surface level. It's more authentic. You see it. It's accessible for everyone if it is there. I haven't seen it, but you know, it is there in some levels. But that's good, is it not? Is it not good for you to be able to solve a situation with a coloured bit of money rather than go through court systems and all that nonsense? And it's way more corrupt in the West. It's just not available to you. It's only available to the elite. This is where I buy my amazing flowers. Really quiet today. It's usually, I wonder if it's a Sunday. At the end of the day, nothing could be more tyrannical, corrupt and deceitful than the West. So you can bin that. You've got your butchers if you want to cook for yourself. Obviously, I've shown you the kitchen. You can get everything you need. I've even heard that you can get Australian beef here. Not here, but you know, in Vietnam, certainly. Whether you can in this village or not, I'm not too sure. Last time I filmed here, I had children around me. There were people waving. It was great. It was buzzing. I think it must be a Sunday. It's really quiet today. I was hoping you would see more of like the Vietnamese people and how amazing they are. But you know, that's in all my other videos. This stuff will keep you going. This stuff will keep you going in the heat. Sugarcane juice, amazing. So a natural Red Bull. And the way I keep hydrated, because you do need to drink a lot out here, you know, you're constantly sweating, is coconuts. Vietnam! Oh, yeah! Come on, come on. So here's our sugarcane man one. So you don't need to speak the language, you know, you can point, you can do ones. I speak 6 words. I can probably only actually pronounce 2 of them. Oh, no Vietnam, sorry. Speak, no. But I love Vietnam. Very good. Yes, there's flies. You know, if you can't deal with flies, then stay in Tiffany. Good for the immune system. If you've done this, if you're scared of flies, you've probably done this and your immune system's shot anyway. So there you go, there you go. That's what you're going to have to live with. You know, it's hurtling down the road. At first I thought they just did it for attention because they do it all the time, but no, it is the culture out here to assume that everyone is stupid. And what I mean by that is they don't, oh man, I need to point at good examples. They assume that you're just going to pull out in front of them. They don't assume that you're just going to drive in a straight line. So to me, the beeping seems absolutely ridiculous. But it is what it is, and that's how they do it. They will beep to clear the road, and they'll do it very, very loudly. It's taken me 6 months to even get my head around why they do it, but I've just accepted that that's what it is in Vietnam, and the trucks get the priority of the road. Oh, I just love this stuff, man. Obviously, it's super sweet and beautiful and gives you energy. They also put a little orange in it, and that mix is just like, oh wow, it's fantastic. You are going to see a very different attitude to animals. This is actually very good. This is real good pet care. I've seen birds way more often than I've seen this. I've seen birds in cages. Was that a bird? Wow, wow. I've seen loads of birds. I mean, again, that's actually quite a good example. In cages the same size as the bird. It's horrendous. You are going to see a lot of what we would call animal abuse. But actually, I mean, that isn't survival, obviously. But actually, like, when you see it on the streets and basically then, you know. I've seen lots of ducks with their legs broken, for example, which is obviously horrendous. But these people are surviving, and they're surviving off the lands, and that's just the way it is. So, the most ridiculous horns you'll ever hear. So yeah, you're gonna just have to accept that, and that's the way it is. And you know, it's one of the trade-offs. There's pros and cons to everything, but in my judgment, the pros far outweigh the cons. And it's life building. It's just reality. Like if you're like, obviously it kills me. I love animals, but at the same time, it's reality. It's the world. Don't pretend it doesn't exist. That's how the West has ended up in such a fucking mess. Yeah, come on.
Vietnam.
Vietnam, come Vietnam. Very good, very good. Zoe, Zoe. So Zoe is that? Zo, good. Ah, okay, that's how you say good. See, you've learnt one already. Tante? No, I'm not saying it right. I'm trying to say bye. Bye, Vietnam. Tante? You say Vietnam, bye. Come on. Okay, now I'm going to take you to a restaurant, show you the incredible food out here, the outrageous prices, or the value for money, I should say, as a Westerner. And then we'll go back to the cabin, and I'm really trying in this video. I don't usually do videos like this. I usually just do daily life vlogs, which are hilarious and very informative, but you know, I'm really trying to give you the information in this one. I'm going to go back to the wonderful £86 a month cabin. I mean, you just see such fantastic things out here. I mean, what the hell is that? You know, it's never boring in Vietnam, and sometimes it can be too lively. And I'm going to write a list of every cost that I think you could encounter, and contingency plans and all that sort of thing, and you know, how much savings do you need to come out here and all of that. I'm going to try and cover it all. Let's go and get some food. There's two that I'm aware of, so there's probably more. There's 2 yoga clubs. There's also a gym. You're not going to find a gym with gym classes and things. You know, there's loads of places like this that sell fruit, sugar and stuff. I mean, they love sugar out here. Another one right there. Yeah, so there's a basic gym that costs, I think it was £7 a month. Crazy. It has all the equipment you'll need if you're motivated enough to, you know, work out yourself. But you're not going to find gym classes out here, but there are yoga classes. By out here, I mean in Nam Ban. Obviously, in the big cities, you will find big gyms with gym classes. In the next clip, I'm going to show you the local gym. This costs £7 a month. Wow, very good. Shoes off, Asia style. Wow, lots of equipment. Gosh, and you know, it's just going to be dead. You know, you're going to have this whole space to yourself all the time. That's fantastic. How much 1 month?
1 month is 250,000.
250,000, that's £7. Wow. 1 day?
1 day is 20,000.
20,000, that's 50 pence. Come on, thank you so much. I show to YouTube your gym. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, come on. Okay, Phu, Bo, Phu. Don't ask why a B is pronounced like a P, you know, you'll just have to get used to it. Everything's out here from our point of view, but obviously not from theirs. That means beef, and I only eat beef. I've not been to this. Let's try it. I've not had Lao, well, it's not going to be Lao, but Lao Phu before. La Phu. Come on. Let's find out what La Phu is. Honestly, unless you're like, you know, really depressed and you're like, I only eat this, I only eat that, well then don't move to Southeast Asia. But if you, you know, aren't depressed and you enjoy flavours and experiences, you will never get a meal in Vietnam and it not be fantastic in my judgment. Now, sometimes it's the noodles. I've had so many noodles recently, but fine. In fact, is this what I had yesterday? It's basically exactly the same as food bar. Anyway, it's going to be good, it's fine. Standards of restaurants do vary greatly. It's a Sunday and my favourite ones are closed, so, you know, we're taking a chance on a new one. The only bad experience I've had is sometimes they use this, like, congealed cheap shit meat, like, I don't know, like sausage meat or rat meat, I don't even know. Obviously I just don't eat it because this is going to cost £1.50. You know, that, so if you eat Vietnamese food, it's going to cost you £1.50 a time. If you want burgers and pizzas, it's going to cost you between £5 and £7 a time. Pasta the same. If you want Western food, you're going to be spending 7 or 8, so between £5 and £8 a meal. But honestly, if you eat their food, you can eat for £5 a day. So you're seeing the more extreme of Vietnamese food, by which I mean different to ours. You know, it's soup, noodle. It's fantastic. The purpose of this video was to show you the dish that I like the most that I've experienced so far. I am searching for a dish which I know I'll like the most, which is basically beef on the bone. But every time I go to the restaurants that serve it, they're closed in this village. And I've had it before in Hanoi, and it's one of the best meals I've ever had. But there's one called Phu Tin Tec or something like that, and it's incredible. It's like, comes on a sizzling plate, beef, gammon, and so you get veg with it as well. Now these are anti-parasites, because obviously out here, you know, worms and I've had worms in my ass, and parasites are an issue. So, you know, eat this veg, and I think it pretty much sorts that out. And then if not, you've got the pharmacy for your satanic stuff. But yeah, so this is amazing. But you know, so it would have been good for you to see my favourite dish, basically, which is literally fried egg, beef, salad. Just so good. Here's the incredible sacred site in Nam Ban. It's amazing. My heart totally popped open last time I was here. Now, of course, well, way better than the church. But you know, this guy did not want statues building of him. He did not want to be immortalized. But of course, in modern day society, we only understand things externally, and it's much easier to worship outwards than go inwards and feel yourself. But of course, this guy was trying to teach the path of enlightenment, which doesn't involve external worship. It involves going internally, feeling your pain, doing the work and walking the same path that he did. But it's all beautiful. And of course, of all the ridiculous external religions that man is kidding itself with, this is without doubt the closest to the truth. So come to Vietnam and be closer to the truth. Sitting on a lotus flower, I mean, it is just incredible. You know, right in the middle of a jungle, basically. We also have the, I forget what they're called, they're not the elephant waterfalls, they're the other one. I don't need to put any words to it, do I? Fantastic. Let's go back to the sacred cabin of nature and silence and crunch some numbers. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. How much is it going to cost you to live out here? What contingency plans do you need? Unfortunately, the gates are closed, but you can still see this fantastic house. I love this house, it's gorgeous. This is what I would live in if I was here long term. It's going to cost you £400 a month-ish, $450. That's on a 3-month contract. You'd have to pay an extra $100 if you wanted it for a month. Amazing. Hello, welcome to my studio in Cambodia. I ran out of time in Vietnam. I have made a list. We're going to finish off with the video now. Right, so I'm aiming this at somebody who is desperate to leave the UK and doesn't have much money. You know, there's many places you can live in Asia that are going to cost you £1,000 a month. I'm spending £2,000 a month right now in Siem Reap, living a beautiful 5-star life, very different to what I'm showing you now in Vietnam. So this is aimed at somebody who can earn £500 a month, maybe £1,000 a month, but even $500 a month online or consistently through investment, however that is. Or somebody that doesn't have a lot of money backing them, but can see what's happening and doesn't want to live around bioweapons anymore, doesn't want to live in two-tier justice, wants the sun, doesn't want to live under heavy sky spraying, all that stuff. Obviously, this is going to be different for everyone, and it's up to you to weigh it up. But if you can see all that and where the UK is already at and is going, then from my perspective, I would rather live in this hut in beauty. It's not like it's some horrible hut. It's a gorgeous hut. I found the best one in Vietnam for you probably, or one of the best ones in Vietnam. Living in the jungle. And also this list that I've created is based on you having not much money. Like, of course you can add lots of extras to this list if you want. But I've done a list on what you have to spend and what you can maybe get away without spending. So how much is it going to cost you to live in Vietnam a month? Well, first of all, you've got your rent, which we've already covered. It's £83 a month. That includes everything. That includes your internet, your water, your bills, your electricity. You're all in for £83 a month. Unheard of. Like, even crap holes are more expensive than £83 a month, but this isn't even a crap hole.
Now, you do have to live in a village in Vietnam. It's a bit remote. It's intense for a first-time experience. You know, most people start out in Phuket or Bangkok or Chiang Mai, and then, you know, 2 years after being an expat, you might end up in somewhere like Nam Ban. But, you know, you can just go straight there. You can rent this very hut that I've shown you, £83 a month. I think it was an extra 30 quid if you're doing it with a partner. Now, obviously, not all, like not the visa runs and stuff, but the bike, I mean, there's not many costs on here. Yeah, the bike you could halve if you had a partner. Anyway, I'm not going to go into all that. So you've got £83 a month for your rent. All your bills are free. Now, food, I showed you where you can eat. In Nam Ban, you can eat 3 times a day, £1.50 a time. You are going to be eating Vietnamese food. If you want Western food, you can't even live in Nam Ban. If you want Western food, you have to live in a city. And then you're going to be paying £6 a meal. So again, that's not the target audience of this video. So if you are willing to be very shocked culturally and to struggle, like this isn't going to be easy, you are going to struggle eating Vietnamese food 3 times a day, not because it's not nice, just because you're not used to it. It's way better than our food. Then you can live for £4.50 a day on food, maybe £5. Now, of course, I don't think this is realistic. I think you're going to want some fruits as well. I think you're going to want the odd bag of crisps. So I've put it at £4.50 a day, as in that's your absolute basic, but really that's £10 a day. So I've worked it out at 135 a week, but really it's 135 a month, but really it's 300 a month if we're going to be realistic. So I'm actually going to add to my realistic one, I'm going to add 165 for food, which basically takes it to £1,000. So I've done like a survival budget, and then I've done, you know, what it really is realistically going to be, and then I've done like if you live in fear and you think you need travel insurance, I've done that too. Because that's a big one. A lot of people, I'm not going to tell you what the answer is, that's different for everyone. What I'm going to say to you is buying travel insurance from trust or fear? Which one do you want to operate from? Most people are going to think fear is common sense and say, well, of course you need travel insurance, and that's fine, that's for you, but you're not the sort of person that's going to move into a hut in the jungle. The people I'm speaking to aren't going to operate from fear, they're going to operate from trust, and they're not going to need travel insurance. Insurance, in my opinion, is a scam on stupidity and fear. Also, there's an argument with insurance that if you do have £5,000, again, not really the people that this video is aimed at, but if you have £5,000, then you can afford all medical bills anyway, I mean, except the really bad ones. So I think insurance is a complete scam, but I will include that in one of the figures. But like I say, this type of person that's going to go for this isn't going to be fearful of life to a point where they want to pay some due money to make them feel reassured. Okay, so what you have definitely got that, you're going to be getting 3-month visas. You're not going to be doing 45-day visas. So 3-month visas, that's $25. Now the visa run, if you're on a proper budget, then you're going to go through hell every 3 months. You're going to do the sleeper bus. You're going to drive your bike. I've included a bike in this budget. You're going to drive your bike to the Lat, or you might just drive it all the way to, I mean, that's proper hardcore. If you're I'm kind of aiming this at first-time expats as well. You're not going to be driving your bike to Ho Chi Minh if you're a first-time expat. You're going to be paying 12 quid for a sleeper bus to Ho Chi Minh. You can then pay, I think it's something like 11 quid to get into Cambodia. Now, I've missed off the Cambodian visa. You're going to have to pay 30 quid for a Cambodian visa as well. So that's another $30. You're going to get a bus into Cambodia for 11 quid, and you're going to pay 30 quid for Cambodian visa that you're not even going to use. Then you're going to come straight back, same again, 22 quid back. So your visa run could be, I've got it at 50, it's actually £77. But it's going to be a grueling 48 hours. What you're probably going to want to do, if you can afford it, is fly from the Lat airport to Phnom Penh and fly back. So that's about £300. So I've done both those budgets. We'll get to the final budgets at the end, obviously. But you can do it for £77, I think, roughly. But it's going to be awful. We've done food. Right, you need a bike. If you're going to live in Nam Ban, you absolutely need a bike. I mean, you could live without one, but it's just going to be such a hell. Like, you know, even I'm getting to the point where maybe you're better staying off in England if you can't afford a bike. And if 60 quid a month is going to make or break you, then you're probably not ready, or even though this really is aimed at people on a small budget. So you're going to want a bike. That's 60 quid a month. And then I've put £100 a month in for unexpected things. Like we can say that this is our budget, but you know, you're going to need a dentist. You're going to need, you know, an unexpected hospital bill, which is really cheap out here. Obviously, if you break your leg, then yeah, okay, it's hundreds, maybe thousands. But you know, you might get a mouth infection, and well, just use baking soda water like I do, and it goes away. But you know, if you want somebody in a white coat to sell you some horrible pills, then you know that's going to cost you a tenner. So I have put £100 contingency in as well, and with that, right, so here's the optional one that I've put in. You have Wi-Fi in your hut, so you don't really need a mobile SIM card. However, you want a mobile SIM card for checking maps, but of course you can just go into any business, because they're all super friendly, and say, can I use your Wi-Fi? And they'll go, yeah, sure. But I have put, you know, £6 a month on. So without the mobile, you're looking at £483 a month, so $530 or $40. With the mobile, you're looking at £489 a month with a mobile. So that is, I think, the lowest amount with £100 a month contingency that you could live out of England for that I've found. I mean, this is incredibly cheap. Like £83 a month, honestly, you do not find that. Like, this really is gold dust in terms of if you're searching for this. Right, if you do the fancy visa run, i.e. you catch a plane because you don't want 48 hours of hell, then you're looking at £580 to £600 a month. I would recommend that if you can afford it. You know, right now, sat in England around a load of bioweapons and all the greyness and awfulness is going to be like, of course I could do a 2-day visa run, no problem. But when you actually do it, it's awful. So I would actually, you know, really encourage you to try and earn a bit more money and get £600 a month mark, and then do a nice visa run every 3 months. So your visa run is obviously split over 3 months. So you can do the cheap option we discussed, which is £77 over 3 months. So that's £25 a month. So your final bill is about £470 a month, something like that. Or you can do the fancy fly option, $250 a month, which is $250 every 3 months, which is £80 a month. So that becomes £560 a month, about $650 a month. If you live in fear, this video isn't for you, so there's no point even mentioning it, but if you live in fear and you want travel insurance, then you're going to be looking at about £800 a month based on a £200 insurance. But this video just isn't for you if you believe in insurance. And then we've got the realistic food budget. So I've done a food budget of £4.50 a day, but that's not realistic. It's £10 a day. So really, on top of all of those figures, I think you can add £165 a month, because you can't live like that. You just can't. You're going to be super depressed. And of course, I've not put any alcohol in this. I've not put any tobacco in this. I've not put any green tobacco in this. So really, if you're going to do it on a budget, let's say you're on the 521, but you're going to want food. You're not going to do travel insurance, so daft like that. You're going to want some food and some interesting food, and maybe the odd burger, which you're not going to get in Namban anyway. But so you know, you're probably looking more at $600 a month. Yeah, I think $600 a month. Now, people say, how much money did you get before you went to Southeast Asia? Like, I need to save, I'm in fear, I don't trust. All understandable, but you know, that is the vibration. And I was the same. You'll find when you get out here, there's ways and means. If you're the type of person that's going to go for this, you'll also be the type of person that can work out how to earn a living. Vietnam on paper is pretty strict about you working, but in reality it doesn't seem to be the case. Nothing like Thailand, where they really will throw you in jail if you work. I met loads of people in Vietnam that were working, loads of Westerners that were working, no problem at all. Right, what do you need to fall back on? You need enough for a flight home. You know, if this all goes tits up, you don't need £5,000, you need enough to get home. 500 quid, I mean, let's say £1,000. You want £1,000. But also you've got to weigh this up against living around bioweapons and all your neighbours, you know, passing kids amongst them and the police supporting it and politicians supporting it. You know what I'm referring to. So, you know, that's what you're weighing it up against. So I would say you need £1,000 and £600 a month. And then I would say go for it. And if the worst case happens, well, I suppose the worst case happens is a bike crash, isn't it? But, you know, again, trust or fear. But, you know, the realistic worst case scenario is it isn't for you, it doesn't work out, you can't afford it. Well, you've got enough for a flight home. And then you're back where you are now. Oh shit, I've given up my council house. Ooh, trust or fear again. If you're interested in the trust or fear thing, then you need to follow this channel, Tom Greatorex, where we break all that down and we bring you out of fear and into trust. Or we give you that opportunity. I give you that opportunity. There's many parts of me, of course. Give you that opportunity, and it's up to you what you do with it. Big love, hope to see you on the other channel and see you again here soon for more incredible content like this. Right, so this is actually quite unusual. I don't usually make content like this. If you're new to the channel, then usually what I do is humorous daily videos based on my life, which are very much worth subscribing for, I think. 6,000 other people obviously think so. And if you're a regular to the channel, I'd like to know what you make of this. Did you enjoy it? Did you get anything from it? Do you think it's worthwhile information? What have I missed out? Help me get better. Big love.